So here's something I see a lot online. Why doesn't Team Ninja just re-release Dead or Alive 5? It was peak DOA, just bring it back. And honestly, I get it. Dead or Alive 5 is still one of the best 3D fighters ever made and still holds to this day. It had amazing gameplay, a huge roster, and some of the best character expression the series has ever seen. But if you actually release Dead or Alive 5 in 2025 as it is, I don't believe it would actually survive. Not with modern expectations, not with modern online play, and definitely not with today's pricing standards. So in this video, I want to walk through why simply re-releasing Dead or Alive 5 isn't enough, and the 3 things Dead or Alive 5 would absolutely need to update if it wanted to make a comeback in 2025. Because yes, Dead or Alive 5 can work in 2025, but only if Team Ninja will fix the parts that would hold it back. Now hit that like and subscribe button and make sure to stick around to the end because I have an announcement for you guys that I want to go over. Now let's get after it. Segment 1, core online improvements. If Team Ninja were to update Dead or Alive 5 last round in 2025, the first thing I'm fixing isn't the graphics, it isn't the roster, and it isn't the balance. It's the online quality of life. Because here's the truth, Dead or Alive 5 is an amazing game, but its online experience held it back from reaching the heights it deserved. And if we're bringing the game back, the online has to be rock solid, no compromises. First and foremost, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but roll back netcode. Dead or Alive 5's delay-based netcode wasn't the worst thing at the time, but compared to where fighting games are now, it feels ancient. It makes every long distance match feel like you're fighting underwater or the screen is glitching back and forth that gives you a headache, and that kills interest faster than anything. Rollback is non-negotiable. We've seen it work in 3D fighters. Virtua Fighter 5 Revo has proved that. And if you rebuild DOA 5's netcode from the ground up with a proper rollback, suddenly the game becomes playable anywhere. It becomes reliable, and that's what keeps the community alive. The next thing is crossplay. If you're reviving a 2015 game in 2025, you can't afford to split your player base into 3 islands. PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Switch, which I will get to in a minute, needs to be able to fight each other, which also means adding lobbies to Steamport. Crossplay only works if every single version of the game is identical. Same patch, same balance, same features, same online options. No more Steam version being a whole update behind. All ports have to be synced. And yeah, I would add a Switch 2 version, and honestly, DOA 5 is the perfect game for it. The visuals scale well, it's lighter on the hardware compared to modern fighters, and having DOA on a portable system would be huge for casual players. It worked extremely well for Sony Vita. And if you're going to revive a game, your casual fans are going to be your bread and butter. Your core audience is going to be the story mode lore guy, the time attack queen, or your casual matchmaking weekend warrior. Switch 2 is the perfect system for that. Now, let's be honest, as amazing as DOA 5 is, its matchmaking was and still is terrible. There was no casual matchmaking, and the only way to find matches was to either join a lobby or play ranked. And if you were on PC, you don't even have lobbies. So the only way to play online was ranked. And the worst part was, because it was ranked, there was no rematches. Casual matchmaking needs to have a queue without having to join a lobby, and most importantly, endless rematching. This is the pinnacle of online fighting games. Ranked matchmaking stays the same, but instead of 1 match, it needs to be first to 2. It still remains skill-based, and you can still grind your way to the top. However, the only thing I would add is an MMR. And of course, all of this you can train while you wait. I don't know how matchmaking wasn't standard back in 2015 and still wasn't fixed in 2019 with DOA 6, but it needs to be in the future. No more staring at empty screens. Give people something productive to do while the game finds them a match. Now, you will notice I didn't include online lobbies because, to be honest, Dead or Alive 5 had really good lobbies. It had clear options for settings, it had spectate mode to view fights, and worked great for offline tournaments, and you were able to train online with other people with frame data, which was completely unheard of back in 2015. The only thing I would change is to add more slots for lobbies, which is something DOA 6 actually did. If DOA 5 is coming back, the online experience is the foundation. This is the stuff that keeps the game alive long after its release. And honestly, it's what DOA 5 deserved the first time around. Fix the online and suddenly the game feels brand new again. Segment 2, visual and technical upgrades. Now the second thing I'd focus on with the DOA 5 update is the visuals, because even now, the game still looks good. It definitely is starting to show some age though. Back in 2012, DOA 5's darker, grittier tone looked cutting edge. But in 2025, it reads a little flat. The colors are muted, the lighting feels heavy, and a lot of the detail gets lost. So let's talk about how to modernize this game without doing a full remake, because a full remake would be insanely expensive, and honestly, it's not really necessary for Dead or Alive 5. First off, we're bringing the whole game to 4K at 60 frames per second across every platform that can handle it. And yeah, regardless if it's HD, 2K, or 4K, 60 frames per second is absolutely non-negotiable. DOA 5 has always been a game where movement and reactions matter. I would argue more than most series, and this series feels wrong at anything below that. So keeping 60 frames per second while pushing the resolution is key. Even without changing the models, just rendering the characters and stages in native or reconstructed 4K immediately makes everything look sharper and more modern. But the real upgrade comes from the color work, because DOA 5 looks, well, dark. Not bad, just dark. It has that old school gritty realism look that a lot of the early 2010s games had, and that style ages pretty fast. So we brighten things up. More vibrant colors, better contrast, and richer skin tones, and stages that don't feel washed out. I'm not saying we turn DOA 5 into a cartoon. The art direction absolutely needs to stay the same. It's still that realistic, grounded style, but the lighting and the saturation get updates to give the game more of a lively aesthetic. Next, we improve the lighting and materials. DOA 5 shaders were great for their time, but they're pretty basic by today's standards. Skin looks a little too smooth, and fabric doesn't catch light correctly, and metal has no real sheen. With modern shaders, we could refresh a lot of that without touching the core models. Better subsurface scattering for skin, more believable reflections, cleaner shadowing, and subtle improvements to hair and cloth highlights. These aren't huge changes, they're just modern updates, but they make the characters feel a lot more alive on modern displays. And while we're at it, I give the textures a pass. Not a full remake, not a ground up rebuild, just higher resolution versions where they matter most. Faces, costumes, stage floors, environmental props, and anything that's right up in the camera's face deserves that extra sharpness, especially in 4K. You don't need to redo the whole game, you just need to bring out the detail that's already there but hidden behind older resolution limits. Now, let me address something you might be thinking, because I thought about this too. Could you remake Dead or Alive 5 in a modern engine? Sure. Would it look incredible? Absolutely. Would it be affordable? Not even close. A full remake means rebuilding every model, every animation, every stage, and every effect, and that's basically making a brand new game. A remaster, on the other hand, that's more realistic, and with smart updates, higher resolution, better color grading, improved lighting, and sharper textures, DOA 5 could look shockingly good without losing its original style. So yeah, the goal here isn't to rewrite Dead or Alive 5 visually, it's just to modernize it for more powerful platforms. Make it sharper, brighter, and cleaner so it feels like a game that belongs in 2025 without losing any of its original identity. A smart remaster gives Dead or Alive 5 the presentation boost it deserves. And finally, segment 3, the DLC overhaul. So here's the big fix. Prices need to get nuked. Costumes need to cost $1 or $2, and characters top out at $5. You shouldn't have to drop $30 just to get 3 outfits for your main. Now, if Team Ninja did this, it would do 2 things. First, this would kill the inexcusable extortion reputation Dead or Alive 6 built. Second, it actually boosts revenue because people are willing to spend when the prices make sense. And if you were to ask yourself, would you drop $5 on a new Tina biker outfit? Absolutely, but no one wants to drop $30 to $50 for 30 costumes that they're never going to use. Which brings me to my next point, which is no more forced bundles. Now this is the part I'm the most stubborn about. No more mandatory costume packs. If you want Kasumi's ninja redesign and nothing else, buy that. If you want Hitomi's school uniform and literally not a single outfit for Ian, then buy that. Dead or Alive 5's giant season passes were completely bloated, overpriced, and honestly kind of insulting. They made players pay for 16 to 20 different characters that they didn't use just so you can get the one outfit that you actually did use. In this update, everything is a la carte. And this is the one thing that Dead or Alive 6 actually did correctly, was they made every character's individual costume purchasable for only $3. And finally, Mai Shiranui must return. She needs to be purchasable again. The fact that she was removed from the store hurt the game for no reason. She's one of the best crossover DLCs that DOA ever had, and she is really popular in DOA 6 as well. If a DOA 5 update was to ever happen, she needs to come back by default. At the end of the day, DLC should be fun, affordable, and honest. A $20 entry, cheap a la carte costumes, and character prices that make sense, and of course Mai coming back to the roster, this DLC can be done right that doesn't drive players away. It actually brings the community together. So to sum it up, this is why I wouldn't just re-release DOA 5 without any changes. The gameplay is perfect. The content is still incredible, but the online, the visuals, and the pricing, these things are stuck in a completely different era. If Team Ninja ever wants DOA 5 to make a true comeback, it needs more than just a port. It needs modern netcode, it needs visual polish, and it needs a DLC structure that respects the community instead of draining it. If you fix these three things, and DOA 5 could absolutely thrive again. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate all the support I've been getting. And about that announcement that I made during the intro was, I've been looking online and I have seen no Dead or Alive merchandise anywhere. I mean, I see a little bit here on Redbubble and TeePublic, but there is no quality Dead or Alive merchandise. And when I mean merchandise, I mean like, you know, apparel, hats, shirts, sweatshirts, you know, jackets like that. And you look on, my favorite brands are like 10-0 or 86, where you see Street Fighter, Tekken, you see King of Fighters, Guilty Gear, you see all this quality merchandise that is on there, but nothing for Dead or Alive or Virtua Fighter or Ninja Gaiden. And I want to know, and you can comment down below, and also later this week I'm going to put on a poll to see what you guys think, and you can say yes, no, don't waste your time, absolutely, you know, I'll put those in the poll. But I want to know, would you want Dead or Alive merchandise? Because if the market is there and you want to buy the merchandise for it, I will put in the time and effort to do so, but only if people want to buy it, because it does take time, production, effort. I would come up with the designs. However, I would still have to pay or commission artists to do the character designs. You know, make sure, you know, lawfully I'm allowed to own it. So it takes, you know, a little bit of time and effort, but would you want Dead or Alive or Virtua Fighter or Ninja Gaiden apparel? Would you wear a DOA tech hat, or would you wear an Ione shirt, or would you be too embarrassed to wear a Honoka shirt, you know? So I want to know down below, what do you guys think? Would that be something that you want? And by the way, it would be separate from my channel. It wouldn't say Shred Gaming or Shred Threads or anything like that. It would be a separate company, had nothing to do with my channel. Of course I'd advertise it, but it wouldn't be a part of the channel. It would just be a separate company that is, you know, just for that. And I would want it to, you know, kind of be up there with the quality that companies like 86 and 10-0 have. So please comment down below, let me know what you guys think, if it's a waste of time, if it's not. It's just something I've been thinking about and kind of flirting with this idea of it. So again, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate you guys and all the support. Again, like and subscribe, it really helps me out. And until next time, this is Shred out.